everybody, Mr. The Fanboy here. As you can see, no theme music for this video because I have nothing positive to say about WWE. This is my 2000 WWE year-end review slash rant. And with that being said, let's get this review, let's get this video started. First of all, WWE sucks. I don't know where to begin because to tell you the truth, I haven't been watching much of WWE this year. I haven't been watching much of WWE this year. TNA has been way better. And like I said in 2015, after I saw that Slammiversary show, I say, you know what? No, I will not accept mediocrity from WWE. I demand the best possible. If I had to be totally fair and honest, WWE is at best okay. I don't do okay. I demand the best product possible. The best product possible. I don't settle for okay average. I don't do it with movies. I don't do it with games. I don't do it with or any form of television show. Either you're good or you're not good. Either you're good or you suck. I only give you okay if you're not good, but you work for it. WWE hasn't worked for anything. Every bad thing that happens to them, they deserve. They've done something to deserve it. They've done something to deserve it. So with that being said, this is my 2016 year-end review and rant. The only thing positive I can say about this year, because of some of the wrestlers that came to WWE this year, it's at least better than last year. I can't remember anything that was good about last year. Here, you had some things that were good, or at least could have been good. But just like 2015, WWE 2016 still sucks. Let's start off with the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble. It was bland. Royal Rumble itself match was for the most part was pretty good. But other than AJ Styles' debut, wasn't memorable, and I shut it off after he was eliminated. Then of course I didn't watch that crappy Roadblock, the first Roadblock pay-per-view. Oh yes, but before I get to that, the Royal Rumble, I read and heard in reviews that Triple H eliminated Roman Reigns to the cheers of the crowds. Now to tell you the truth, people, I actually like Roman Reigns. However, what I do not like Roman Reigns getting booed by the fans. I do not like Roman Reigns getting booed by the fans and being shoved down my throat. And also I don't like Roman Reigns' wrestling ability. His wrestling ability is terrible, and his acting ability is also terrible. What I do like about Roman Reigns, he's one of the only guys on the roster who looks and feels like professional wrestling. Too bad everything else I just mentioned sucks. I don't like those piped in cheers, which one of the Raws I did watch this year, I actually thought that was real. But no, the pipe cheers, they were piped in cheers. They weren't real. And then now I'm worried because I love the Seth Rollins face turn. However, I feel that if you keep associating with Reigns, that's going to cause Rollins' popularity to decrease and start having him get booed like Reigns. So yeah, I want a guy who is organically over. I want a guy who is organically over. I do not want a guy created by the WWE system, which is when I stopped watching and supporting Roman Reigns. When I realized what he was everything I hated. He was big, muscular, He was big, muscular, and he was who WWE wanted at the top instead of who should be at the top. I'm gonna say this once. I'm gonna say this once. I said this once. I'll say it again. Vince McMahon has always said, "The fans don't tell us what we want. We tell the fans what they want." And right there, that's when I quit watching WWE forever. No, you demand what you want from them. You demand the best possible. I believe in demanding what you want from the WWE the WWE what's his name? Vince McMahon does not decide what we want. Without fans, you have nothing. You don't have all of this. And that's why I don't watch anymore. That's why I don't watch that garbage anymore. It's one of the main reasons I don't watch that garbage anymore. We all wanted Punk. We all wanted Punk and Daniel Bryan. They gave it to us. Oh, but they didn't give it to us like we should have. We should have. We should have. But I already talked about how they screwed up both of them. Even AJ Styles, I never wanted AJ Styles in WWE, but if he had ever came to WWE, I wanted AJ Styles to win the WWE Championship as a face. Nah, they had him turned heel for no apparent reason, and he feuded with John Cena, even though in real life, more people like AJ Styles and more people hate John Cena. But I'll get to that crap later. But like I said, so when I heard that Triple H, I was not watching any storylines featuring Triple H in 2016. The Triple H, the worst and most overrated wrestler of all time. One of the worst and most overrated wrestlers of all time. I sure as hell wasn't watching him win another belt. I sure as hell wasn't watching him win another belt and watching another WrestleMania with him as the main event or the star attraction. That whole Roman Reigns and Triple H crap, I didn't watch none of it. None of it. None of it. When we got to WrestleMania, I skipped that crappy Roadblock pay-per-view. I didn't watch that garbage. That first Roadblock from earlier this year, from early 2016. It's 2017 now. From early 2016, I didn't watch that crappy Roadblock pay-per-view. Then you had that sorry about that. Then you had that oh yeah, WrestleMania 30, WrestleMania 32, WrestleMania 32 wasn't, well, actually was okay. It was okay. It was okay. The Money in the Bank ladder match was good. The gimmick, that battle royal they had was good. And the Brock Lesnar Dean Ambrose match was actually good, but yeah, WrestleMania, but yeah, WrestleMania was disappointing. It was okay. But I don't do okay with WWE, so I'm not gonna say it sucked, but actually that WrestleMania was one of the better shows. That was the best show, but there was lots of terrible things. Shane McMahon and Undertaker didn't even watch that garbage. I never got around to doing my Undertaker rant, which is coming up soon. I have a new found hatred for the Undertaker, man. Undertaker and Shane McMahon, I wasn't watching that garbage. Next to Triple H, Undertaker is also one of the worst and most overrated wrestlers of all time, and I'll be doing videos exposing him. I never got around to doing it, but he'll get his burial too. Then you got Shane McMahon. I wanted him back in a creative role, or at least as owner of the company, not back as an on-screen character or a wrestler. So I had no interest in this garbage. Then of course you got like I said, I wasn't watching Triple H and Roman Reigns. I heard The Rock buried the Wyatts in 6 seconds. Now this right here, 6 seconds. And I also heard Austin and Michaels had a spot on his card, but I don't remember seeing that anywhere. Because like I said, I only watched bits and pieces of the show. Oh yes, the other biggest disappointment, the AJ Styles Jericho match. Not the worst match ever, but I'm going to call it the worst match because I expected so much from these two. This match was slow and boring, and you got the WWE fanboys and the online fanboys talking about AJ Styles didn't get the victory. AJ Styles didn't get the victory. Who the hell cares? That match sucked. I was disappointed. I expected more from these two. When you put this was the internet dream match for years, AJ Styles and Y2J. Not only the match sucked, not only the matches between these guys sucked, but the storyline sucked. So you're trying to tell me they start off as a tag team. They start off as a tag team with Jericho welcoming AJ Styles to WWE family. Then Jericho, for no apparent reason, Jericho turns on AJ Styles and is jealous of AJ Styles when let's compare careers. AJ Styles, like I said, is an indie star. He's not a mainstream professional wrestler. AJ Styles, Jericho, he was trained by the legendary Stu Hart. He trained in the legendary Stu Hart dungeon. Debuted in Calgary Stampede Wrestling, then went to Smoky Mountain Wrestling, then went to Japan, Mexico, ECW, WCW, came to WWE where he became the first undisputed champion, beating The Rock and Austin on the same night. Pretty much Jericho's had this illustrious career, multi-time world champion, and he's mad, and he's angry because AJ Styles was getting more fanfare than he was. First of all, Jericho was champion at a time people actually watched wrestling. People still watched and cared about wrestling. AJ Styles loved TNA, but nobody cared. Come and think of it, was one of the reasons why TNA's never done anything. It was because guys like Styles was built at the top. When guys like Monty Brown should have been at the top of the company. Guys like Styles and Joe. Ring of Honor, which no one cares about. New Japan, no one cares about. And Jericho was in Japan in the 90s. And you're trying to tell me he's jealous of AJ Styles? So the storyline sucked, and the matches between them sucked, man. So, yeah, I guess WrestleMania was okay. Like I said, but I really don't have that much to say about WWE because I wasn't watching much of WWE this year. But I heard that finally, this year, yes, Seth Rollins, he returned. But he returned as a heel, and then later there's something that happened with him and the Authority, and he finally turned face. I'm gonna rant on this right here because this goes back to 2015. This goes back to the burial of Sting, and it's relevant now because you see the ratings. When Sting came to WWE, instead of having Sting beat Triple H and destroy and put an end to the Authority. No, you bury Sting, you make him look stupid, you bury Sting, then you make him look even more stupid by having Sting come challenge for a World Heavyweight Championship, come challenge for the WWE Championship, even though he lost at WrestleMania 32. You make him look even more stupid. Then he loses to Seth Rollins. He gets injured. He loses to Seth Rollins. And then you shove the Authority storyline down our throats for almost another year. When Sting first off, and I mentioned how in the match when it was supposed to be Sting taking out the Authority, it still transformed into a WWE versus WCW rivalry. I mentioned the pointless interference of the NWO and DX, the garbage NWO Wolfpack and DX interfering on Sting's behalf, even though the Sting character only joined the NWO Rant because of his best friend Luger, and opposed the NWO. I already talked about that, but it's relevant now. Anyone who says shut up, fuck you. It's relevant now because your ratings suck. You should have the Authority storyline should have ended at WrestleMania 32, and Seth Rollins from there should have turned face, then man up and cashed in his Money in the Bank and faced Lesnar at a later date. Instead, Brock Lesnar beat the crap out of Roman Reigns and had Seth Rollins come in and steal it. This was something I also ran on. The discrimination towards the smaller wrestlers. Every time a smaller wrestler in WWE gets a championship, They always have some BS when they win the title. Instead of manning up and challenging the champion and winning, like RVD did with Cena at One Night Stand 2006, no, there's always some BS. CM Punk, I remember his first world title was in 2008. He cashed in on Edge. His second one, his second one, of course, I mentioned his second world title reign. He turned heel. Well, that heel turn was kind of needed because you kind of turned the fans against him by having him win, at WrestleMania 29. Um, then of course, oh yes, the Summer of Punk storyline. Summer of Punk storyline. You did this awesome storyline where you got all this media attention. Instead, you have CM Punk come back days later. Then you have all this destruction done to the CM Punk character, and after all this destruction done, you finally give him the title. But not after him losing to Triple H, and all of this destruction was done to the CM Punk character. You turn him into a cookie cutter John Cena style babyface instead of the edgy tweener babyface he's supposed to be. The CM Punk John Laurinaitis storyline. You ruin that storyline. You ruin that storyline by having Cena face John Laurinaitis, even though CM Punk John Laurinaitis was much better and much more realistic. Then you bury him in the mid card. And then finally, even though he supposedly surpassed Cena and was about to have a babyface DVD, now she wanted his heel turn. Because, like I said, I didn't like that cookie cutter CM Punk babyface, but you turn him heel. Heel, and then I actually enjoyed this because he was boring as champion, all because of WWE's terrible booking. You have The Rock take the belt off of him. And then CM Punk finally does what I want to do. Guy freaking walks out. Thank you, CM Punk. But you see the BS. Then Daniel Bryan. First off, Daniel Bryan, when he wins the Money in the Bank briefcase in 2011, instead of waiting until WrestleMania and cashing in at WrestleMania like he said, no, you cash it. You have him. First off, as a face, you have him cash in on the Big Show. Then he's still a baby face, but then you get him involved in this with AJ, which I hated. Then you eventually make him a jerk and turn him heel. Then at WrestleMania, what was it? WrestleMania 28, you have job him out to Sheamus in an 18-second match. Yes, you put a world title match at WrestleMania 28 in the opening main event of the card, and then you get him involved in this, which this made him more over. So you intentionally tried to kill off his momentum and steam, but by jobbing him out, you made him even more over. Then you got him involved with this Hell No storyline, Hell with Kane. Then he finally builds himself back up at SummerSlam 2013. When he finally wins the top, he beat Cena. When he beat Cena, not only was it not clean because Cena talks about his elbow the next night, but you have Randy Orton attack him after the match, and now what's his name? Then he finally wins it at WrestleMania 30. He finally wins it at WrestleMania 30. Then he has to vacate it again due to injuries. Wait, that was later. I keep forgetting what happened to him in 2014 because I wasn't watching wrestling in 2014. I only watched SummerSlam and WrestleMania that year because 13 sucked so bad. So pretty much a history of them not listening to the fans, but Seth Rollins, going back to Seth Rollins, and now look at your ratings. Your ratings are low now because you didn't do all this stuff, because you buried Sting, you didn't push the right wrestlers, you didn't listen to the fans, and now more people have went away. And hell no, is not a 1 point something rating is not good. I didn't even like that with TNA, so damn sure I'm not gonna like that with WWE. If you're okay with a 1 point something rating, you're a freaking idiot. You're a freaking idiot and a sheep, man. A sheep. What's his name? You're okay with that rating? I was never okay with the 1 point rating. You are 7 to 9 points away from a TNA ratings. The only time you can get higher than that is when a major star like Goldberg is on the roster. And after that, after seeing that, I didn't watch WWE for like several months. That was not in that. That wasn't until and AJ Styles and Jericho sucked so bad they made me not want to watch another AJ Styles match. AJ Styles and Roman Reigns, which I heard was not good. Which I heard was good. I heard AJ Styles carried Reigns, so you have a guy who is good versus Roman Reigns who isn't that good. AJ Styles and Cena. I didn't like this, but I guess this would be AJ Styles' best match in WWE. I don't think this is Cena's best match. I thought Cena and CM Punk was better from Money in the Bank 2011. I thought Cena and Michaels from WrestleMania 2007 was better. WrestleMania 23 was better. I also liked John Cena and Bobby Lashley. I thought that was much better. And even John Cena, his series of matches with Lesnar were much better than this match right here with AJ Styles. If you're ever going to do an AJ Styles Cena feud, I always wanted AJ Styles as the babyface and Cena as the heel. But as always, what do? They turn AJ Styles heel for no apparent reason, even though he's the most beloved wrestler of the roster. Even though he's the most over guy on the roster, you turn him heel instead of Cena a heel. And now your ratings are low. But like I said, I stopped watching wrestling. I only read about stuff. Oh yes, other stuff I got to read on. Why does AJ Styles get the superstar treatment? AJ Styles got the debut on pay-per-view, but Austin Aries and Eric Young was never on the roster, so I can't use Eric Young. He was just at NXT. He never signed a contract with WWE. But Austin Aries and Robert Roode have the debut on garbage NXT. But AJ Styles was good enough to debut at the Royal Rumble. So that also completely turned me off to wrestling. These TNA guys are finally in WWE now. Oh, but no, we gotta watch them on NXT. Yeah, and then you had I started to become mildly interested in WWE again when I heard about this cruiserweight tournament. And as always, like I said, I was mixed about this tournament. This cruiserweight tournament featuring wrestlers from all over the world. I was happy about it, but then I was mad about it because everybody's gonna raid. They were gonna raid and try to sign some of these guys like Mascara Dorada and who is now Metallico, and Perkins was the only one I wanted them to sign. But yeah, this tournament was probably the only thing good from this year. But the cruiserweight division sucks. The cruiserweight division sucks now. It's just bland, and like I said, it sucks now. See, the difference between cruiserweight divisions back in the day, everyone on your roster wasn't big. Everyone on your roster was pretty much big or average size. Nowadays, everyone is pretty much a cruiserweight. So having a cruiserweight division, you're not going against the grain. When everyone is, for the most part, the same size, with only a few guys on your roster being big. So the cruiserweight division sucks. It's just a bunch of boring, bland personalities, man. The only one is Brian Kendrick, who was built up, man. Oh, and Mascara Metallico, who of course was built up from CMLL. It's just a bunch of bland personalities. TJ Perkins, it's time for his burial, man. Yeah, I turned on Perkins. I was initially excited for him in WWE because I didn't like the way TNA released him. But I can see why TNA put a mask over you. You have to be the most boring personality I've ever seen. He basically has he's a 1980s video game character. What the hell is that crap? First off, they changed his music from that badass rock and roll Devastate thing to something even more lame. Then his crappy attire. What is that? His crappy attire. Just a lame, generic, jobber-looking wrestler. Wrestler. Then Anthony Nese, Mascara Dorada, Moscow and Dorado, they're barely on TV. The other guys, these guys were good in the independents, but they're on WWE. They are just boring. They are just boring, man. They are just freaking boring, man. Freaking boring. So yes, terrible cruiserweight division, terrible cruiserweight division. But one of the other things that got me interested in WWE was the announcement that Goldberg will be returning to Raw. Would be returning to Raw. So I tuned in to see Goldberg when it was announced on Lords of Pain that Goldberg was coming. Goldberg, of all the wrestlers, I hate him the most on the roster because because of Survivor Series, man. First off, before that, the promo with him coming back, that was good. But then he has the fight scene with Rusev where during the brief fight scene he struggles to hit his moves properly, and this is what I was worried about Survivor Series. Then we get to Survivor Series. Then finally we get to Survivor Series and Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. I'm dead serious. Brock Lesnar does his move. He lifts Goldberg's up, does the shoulder blocks in the corner, taunts. He turns around. Goldberg hits him with a sloppy looking spear. Then he hits him with a real spear jackhammer. It's over. And I stopped watching WWE. I have not watched anything of WWE since, man. I've not watched anything of WWE since after they did that garbage. They put another squash match live on pay-per-view. Then I mentioned the Survivor Series, how the show was just terrible. First off, you had the Jobber Survivor Series, all of these lame characters, the New Day, Ryder and Mojo Riley, the Usos, all of these enhancement talents, jobbers, wrestling in this Jobber Survivor Series match. It was just terrible, and it went on for a long time. Then, of course, you had the SmackDown one, which was almost an hour long, a 52-minute Survivor Series match. Who the hell wants to watch indie guys flipping around for 52 minutes? This was boring. What's his name? Everyone performed well, but who wants to watch that for 52 minutes? Then that took away from the main event. But now it's time for, like I said, Goldberg's burial, man. Goldberg. He wrestles. He waits almost 12 years. He waits 12 years to finally return to wrestling. He has not done anything wrestling or physical related apart from training at his gym, which that didn't do any good. Training at his gym. He didn't do anything in those 14 years. He didn't do anything in those 12 years. 12 years. No independent shows. He waits till he's near 50 years old to wrestle at Survivor Series. He has gray hair. He's old, has gray hair. A shell of what he once was. To come back to wrestling, man. Didn't do anything in those 12 years. Like I said, this was the biggest disappointment ever. I don't care about Goldberg in the Royal Rumble. I'm probably going to watch because the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania are my favorite events of the year. But I don't care. I don't care who wins. I don't care about the Royal Rumble or who's going to be fighting at WrestleMania. And that was always a tradition. Who will be fighting at WrestleMania? I don't care. Because Survivor Series was terrible. TNA and Lucha Libre, which is the wrestling I've mostly been watching, are way better than WWE. Man. Can't wait for TNA in 2017. WWE in 2017? Who the hell cares, man? Like I said, man, WWE sucks. There's nothing I'm excited for. It is trash. It is terrible, man. Well, this was my thoughts on This was my WWE 2016 and 17 year in review / rant. All right, I'm done. No theme music this time.